Another quirky project by Billy 50 Designs.
So these big thick straps are all the rage at the moment. So what we're going to do is we're going to make a canvas strap and we're going to put a waterproof canvas accent detail on it. And we're actually going to make it really huge. So these are 1.5 inch. So let's start at the beginning. We're going to get the wrong side and we're going to rule a line down the center. And now I'm going to put double-sided tape down the center. Peel off the backing. And then I'm going to fold the edges into the center. And that's going to give us our 1.5 inch wide strap. And then I'm going to press that so it's nice and flat. Yeah. And now I'm going to do the same thing with my accent piece. So I'm going to rule a line down the center. I'm going to get double-sided tape and I like to go this way. So I'm going to place my double-sided tape down the center again. Peel off the backing. Some days it's easier to get off than others. Alright, and then same thing, fold into the center. Now once that's done, I am going to iron that as well. Yes, I'm going to iron my waterproof canvas. So if you're doing the same, make sure you check your manufacturer's specifications because you don't want to iron something that you're going to ruin. Alright, now we're going to take our thicker strap and we're going to put the side that has the join in it face up, and then we're going to take this one and the side with the join down, so we want to match our joins together. And we're just going to center that, and then we're going to go to our machine and stitch all the way down both edges. Now you can do it in a contrasting color, or you can do it in a color that matches. It doesn't really matter. Just stitch it on. Go slow when you're doing it because you want to make sure that it is centered and even. Now, if you will have trouble lining that up, you can actually put another row of double-sided tape and stick them together. How good is that? Okay, next step. Okay, this is the way that I make my files to cut out heat transfer vinyl. All right, so I'm using Photoshop, so file, new. We're creating a new file and I'm going to do it in inches. So I want it to be 10 inches wide and the size of the strap that I'm making is 1.5 inches high. So I'm going to do that so I know that I've got it the right dimensions and I'm going to click OK. All right, now first thing I want to do is make a new layer. Click on my font and then I'm going to write where all mad here. Now, if you select that and then come up here, these are all the different fonts you have, so you can change it into all different ones. I'm selecting a font called Alice in Wonderland. If I can find it, there it is, Alice in Wonderland. Okay. Now what I want to do is Command T, and now I'm going to stretch it and make it the size that we want. So if that's the size of the strap, then I want to have a little bit of space at the top and bottom. So I like that size, so just click enter. Now what I also want to do is I want to add a little picture here. So I've got a PNG of a heart. So I'm just going to drag that over. It doesn't want to drag. I'll edit, copy, click on here, make a new layer, edit, paste, and there it is. Now I'm going to move it where I want it. And then here, if I click on my layer 2, which is my heart, we can name that, double click there and write heart. Now that it's selected, I can go over to the eraser and click Magic Eraser and click on the white part, and there you go. Now if I go back to our click there, I'm just going to change the color of that to black as well. And black is easy for the Silhouette machine to detect. So that's great, but if you can see in the font here, there's a little heart and the top of the heart is pointing in to the right. So I want to flip this one. So I'm going to make sure that that layer is selected and then edit, transform, flip horizontal. And now that's turned around. So you can see that that heart there and that heart there are both with the right side up a little higher. All right, so once I'm happy with that, I'm going to press Layer, Flatten Image, and then File, Save As, and I'm going to save it as Cheshire Strap, and I'm going to go down here and I'm going to make sure JPEG is selected. Press Save, OK, and we're done. Now we can take that file to the Silhouette software and we can make the cut file. Now I'm going to show you how I take my Photoshop file that I just made and bring it into my Silhouette Studio to be able to cut that file. So, first of all, I go to Open, and I'm going to click on that file that I called Cheshire Strap. And you'll see that it's imported here. Now, it is a little bit big at the moment, so I'm just going to shrink it down. Whoop. Make sure I get that little arrow first. Shrink it down. And then we're going to figure out how big we want it. Now, up here are the measurements, and I have a roll that's 12 inches wide, but I need these letters here to be no more. Well, the strap is 1.5 inches, so I need that to be smaller than 1.5 inches. So I'm just going to shrink that down. And you'll see on this side, there is also 1, 2, 3. You can see the measurements there. So let's put that in there. Okay. That's about the right size. All right, I'm just going to move that down. Now, I need to cut this out because we don't want this background. And the way we do that is we go over here and we click on this little icon that looks like toast. And then that'll bring up the tracing area. So we want to click Select Trace Area. And then we take our little cross and we just trace out the part that we want, just like that, and then let it go. And it automatically figures out that this is the part that we want. So now, if I click Trace, it's traced it. And if I go back up here and I just touch on the white, you'll see that it takes away that original file. So I can now delete that. Now, with this file, I want to edit and copy. Now, I'm going to need about 6 of these for the full length of the strap that I'm doing. And now I can click Edit, Paste, or Command V on a Mac. And I'm just going to place that underneath. And again, Command V. Command V. One, two, three, four. Command V. All right. Now I have those there, and I'm working on a Mac. So Command gives you that little funny shape, and V is the paste symbol. All right, so we've got it all traced out and it's the right size. So it's under 10 inches wide, which means the roll of vinyl that I'm using, which is 12 inches wide, it's going to fit on there nicely. So now I'm going to need to cut a piece that comes down to 10 inches. I always leave just a little bit more. So I'll cut my piece at 10.5 inches long. Then I'm going to go up here and I'm going to press Send. Now that's looking for the machine. So I'll turn on my machine, and then once the machine has been turned on, it'll say, right, no problem, I can see the machine. Okay, so it knows that I want to send it something. Now I'm going to over here, and I'm going to select the type of fabric. Now I'm using heat transfer vinyl, so heat transfer vinyl, and I'm going to look for smooth. There's all these different, and all these different options, and they all give you different settings. So I'm going to go heat transfer smooth, auto cut, and it's already got a blade in it. So it's detected that there's a blade there, and it'll do the settings for me. Now, these are the recommended settings that the program comes with. However, I'm going to change mine. So I'm going to change this one. So it's on number 3. And then the force I'm going to change to 8. And the speed I'm going to change to 6. And then I'm ready. So I load my vinyl into my cutter. And then when I've done that, I'm going to press send, and then this will pop up, and it's going to say, do you want to send it mirrored or do you want to send it as is? So you just press send mirrored and you're done. And then it'll cut the file out for you. So now we have our strap, and you can see it looks pretty groovy. And this side I want to decorate. Now what I did was I created some SVG files, and I'm going to apply them with the heat press. So I'll position them properly in a minute, but what I'm going to do is I'm going to basically put that all the way along. I've got a whole heap here that I need to actually cut out or weed out before I put any of my hardware on. So I'm going to go ahead and place all of these and heat press them on, and then I'll come back. Okay, so now I have my strap done with my files on there, and I always put my name on the back. And now we're going to make the strap. So first things first, we need a strap adjuster. No, let's start the other end. Okay, now I'm just going to do a fold and a fold. So a double fold. Got a double fold there, and I don't need it too big, and then I'm just going to stitch straight across there. Got the strap adjuster on. Now I'm going to take this and thread it through, and then I'm going to go up and down, so I have that on the end like that, and then at our other end I'm going to go through, and again we're going to do a double fold. Again, you don't need it too big. And then we're just going to stitch straight across here. is our finished strap. How good is that? I'm going to take our little bag. And there we have it.
Another quirky project by Billy 50 Designs.